Very funny story. Limburger cheese.
Right. It is funny, isn't it? That's probably from like the 80s. I heard that so long ago.
Definitely funny. Not big cheese guy, not a Limburger cheese guy.
Right.
I will say that. No, so I feel like a lot of, especially where I'm at now in my life. So, and I'm trying to relate it there, like I always do, the attitude aspect. And I feel like it's always it's an evolving conversation that we have, because we'll talk about something and then for a while we won't bring it up. And now we're talking about the attitude thing. And for some reason, I always go back to not letting the negative on the outside get on the inside, because that's going to overall, well, I'm answering my own question. That shouldn't determine your attitude or outlook on something. But in most times I feel that it does. Not necessarily myself, but other people out there that are living life, and somehow just the weight of the world or whatever it would be, that aspect is weighting heavy, causing them to have a bad attitude, look at the world in a negative way. And I always ask the question, how do you not do that? And the answer is always the same, but it's still something that happens all the time. So maybe not how do we go about getting a better attitude towards things? What can people do to just have a more positive outlook on life? Because I feel like the overall answer is like, yeah, just turn it off. Sure. But then you're completely shut off from the world. So like, what can someone do to just have that sliver of positivity that could potentially change their outlook on a negative situation and somehow find the positive or the good in something that could be a bad situation? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I really think it has a lot to do with never taking anything personally. Because a lot of times when you think of why you got a bad attitude, something happened and you go, I can't believe this happened to me. Or I can't believe you did this. I can't believe, and there's always some element of that. Nothing that anyone ever does has anything to do with anyone except themselves. And everything that you do has everything to do with you. Because I can't control a word you say with anything you think, or whatever you do. So whatever you're doing, Ralph, only has to do with you. Nothing to do with me. Even if I walked up to you and slapped you in the face, your response is still your response. I don't control that. And just like if I slapped you, did that have anything to do with you? No. It had everything to do with me. And attitudes, if we remember this, a good attitude won't allow you to do anything in life. It doesn't. A good attitude doesn't allow anything to get done, but it'll allow every single thing you do to do it better.
That's interesting. A good attitude won't let you get anything done in life, but it will. Say that again.
It'll allow everything you do to be better. Everything. But you can have a good attitude at home laying on the couch.
I see.
You know what I mean? Just doing nothing with your life.
Yeah, don't confuse. Denzel talks it, but don't confuse movement with progress.
Yeah, don't confuse attitude with initiative. It takes initiative. It takes setting yourself out there, taking a chance, taking a risk, being vulnerable in this world to be successful. But if you're vulnerable and you're taking chances, you're out there hustling every day and you're doing it with a bad attitude, it's like having a handicap. It's like carrying a weight on your shoulders. So a good attitude and a bad attitude, it doesn't really make you do anything, but it'll make everything better. And I would say attitudes are always rooted in taking things personally. It really is. I've learned in life, anyone that has ever done anything has anything to do with Randy. Nothing. And I've been attacked on levels that are just like crazy. I've had to go through lawsuits and suing the township and, fighting for our existence. And in doing this, I'm thinking, wow, these people that are coming at me and trying to destroy everything that I'm creating, does it really have anything to do with me? No. They're living in their world. They're playing their games. They're basically the lead actor in their movie of their life. And I'm the lead actor in my life. And their movies clash with my movie. So their movie says to come after Randy and try to destroy Randy. Well, I'm not going to let their ugly movie impact my joyful movie. It's not going to make my movie ugly. It has nothing to do with me. They can do their thing. I'm going to stand up for myself and do what I need to do, but I'm never going to allow their ugliness to make me ugly, ever, because it has nothing to do with me. And ultimately, if you think about this, every single thing that you worried about, you may have had a bad attitude. Think back a year ago. Can you remember your attitude from a year ago today? No one can. So therefore, does any of it matter? Not even a little. Your attitude only matters in the moment you're in right now. And that's it. Because that's all you can control. Because think back about what you were worrying about a year ago. No one can remember that.
Yeah, I don't even.
No.
I could say what?
Right.
Wow.
Did you have a good attitude a year ago?
I hope so.
Right. I hope so. You don't even remember. Right. So we might as well choose a good one in the moment. That's all we got, because it'll make this moment a better moment than a bad attitude. But it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's such a funny way to look at it.
Most things in life that we worry about really mean nothing in the end. There's, my mom would say this: if you can take action and fix it, do it. If not, forget about it. But there's worrying. No one has ever said, wow, how did you accomplish this, Ralph? How did you build the podcast room and turn it into a successful business? You go, well, man, I worried every night. I lay in bed and just worry all night long. And oh my God, it works so good. No one's ever said that.
I see.
You know what I mean? Worrying is the worst tactic to success.
So taking action is like a way to do it.
So taking action will undo. Taking action will put you in a good attitude. I believe that. Taking action and being initiative. It's very hard to be purpose-driven, action-oriented in a bad attitude. Because when you're taking action, you're believing in yourself because you're taking action. Those people that do nothing, they really don't believe that they can do it. That's why they don't do it.
I see.
But the moment you step out and you're going, you're basically saying, I have confidence in myself. This is why I'm taking action. So therefore, the good attitude comes upon you.
Interesting take. It opens up another question then, for me at least, right? And because I've came to the realization, because if it was that simple, I would have started a business when I was 20 years old or 19 or 18 or 17 or whenever, just because it would have been, that answer would have been so obvious. It's clearly not that obvious to people, because if it was so obvious, not necessarily to start a business, but just in general to take control, to have the good attitude to do it, it's clearly not that obvious to people. I feel like there's a realization point where something, I don't know, like for me to start the business, it took a lot of making other people's dreams in Hollywood come true to make me realize, like, dude, if I keep doing this, I'm never going to build my studio and do what I have to do media wise. It took me to have to come to that realization after, working 18-hour days on a film set, not understanding why my script wasn't getting written. And the reason why was because I was working on a set for 18 hours a day, not writing my script. And it's very easy to say it now in retrospect, but not knowing that at the time, like, did you, Randy Detrick, have a moment that you remember where it was like, oh, holy crap, like not necessarily solving the problem, but your realization of, if I just do something like this, I can essentially wipe out the negativity or get the worry out of my way just by doing it this way?
So a lot of this roots back to my mom, Ralph. Growing up with my mom, I remember saying to my mom when I was like 14 years old, 15 years old, saying, when I'm older, I'm going to buy a house. And she'd say, why don't you do it now? I'm like, what do you mean now? She goes, there's no rule stopping you. There's nothing stopping you from buying a house right now. And she would actually go and get those, those house magazines, all the house for sale. And she'd put them in my room and go house shopping at night. The whole time frame of what people think of this, then this, then this, then this is not reality. There are people out there that have bought houses at age 14 years old. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Right. There's no rules. All the rules are imposed upon us inside of our head.
We call them outliers though, right? Like
sure, but we're all born outliers. The odds of your existence is like next to nothing. So everyone's an outlier. But the problem is people don't have the oomph, the confidence to pursue their purpose in life. So what then they do is they find someone else to help them pursue their purpose. And then they're doing that for so long and they get good at it. And then they think, well, my time has passed now. Then that's the next trap. My opportunity has passed. I might as well just do this until I retire. And then once I retire, then I'll do what I want to do. But then that's a trap too, because the average retirement is like 8 years, and then they die. And it's such a trap. Anything that you ever want to do, the time to do it is right now. Right now. There is no tomorrow. Because when tomorrow comes, it's today. The only time is now. Because if we wait for this and then, I was having this discussion with a guy this past week. He's telling me, well, once this happens, that happens, this happens, this happens, then I'll do that. I go, you're never going to do it. I promise you'll never do it. He goes, no, I'm going to do it. I promise I'm going to do it. I go, you'll never do it unless you do it right now. You're never going to do it. There's you're going to find a way, you're going to find an excuse.
Yeah.
And you'll find an excuse in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. You'll find a way, you'll find an excuse. The time to do it is right now. If you're going to do it today. It's that same, my mom would say, get on and stay on the do it now program. Do it now. And that's something where, like you just said it, like, well, why is it that, it took me all these years to gain the insight to go, wow, I can do this. Yeah. You could have done it back then. But the thing is, experience will give you confidence.
I think that's what it
It
is, right?
is,
People
right.
lack the confidence. I clearly I lacked the confidence until it was like, dude, I'm over this.
And it's the confidence, and also some know-how. But I say you can lower the curve of learning by just downloading books to your phone.
Yeah.
Every single bit of knowledge the world has to offer is in our pockets right at this moment. Everything, and it's all there for the taking. But most people, what they do is they won't listen to it. They'll listen to music and stuff like that. But if you start downloading books to your phone, all of a sudden, what happens is the person that's prepared in this life for the opportunities, they can seize the opportunities. And if you're pre-listening the books and you're pouring the stuff in your head, and an opportunity comes along, and you happen to listen to a book 2 years ago that prepared you for this opportunity now, boom, you can seize the moment. But if the opportunity comes and you don't have that knowledge in your head, well, the opportunity passes you because it's too late. When opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare for the opportunity. It's just that simple.
I see what you're saying.
So this is why, like, now, learning and knowledge, you should just never stop learning. Never. But
by doing that, you're gaining. I see, and so I wanted to tie that into the attitude. By learning and having the knowledge and understanding it, ultimately, I just feel like it's inevitable that you're going to have a good attitude because you just know.
You're prepared.
You're just prepared. You're not showing up like empty-handed.
Exactly.
You have something to bring to the table. Yep. And there's that feeling you get. I don't know. For me, I know it's an ego thing, and it's something I'm working on. But it's like, dude, I know what the hell I'm talking about. I know what we're doing here. I know what this is. I know we can do that. Oh my gosh, let's do this to make it look like this, so we can make it like, and it just goes. And then sometimes I just go, and people are like, hold on a second, how'd you see that? And I'm like, oh,
I'm prepared.
And that's, I guess I never looked at it that way, because that's just kind of like where my head goes. It starts from here. It's like, this is where it can go. So let's just do it here and go that way. But ultimately just being prepared. So people out there that have a bad attitude towards things, maybe it's, I don't know, like, because I was like that for a very long time. I'd wake up and I'd be like, I know I'm doing the thing I love doing, but why do I feel pissed off about it? And it was because I wasn't doing what I should be doing. I liked doing it, but it wasn't because of what I should be doing. And that realization happened. Like I use that to relate, working 18 hours on a film set. It's like, I know I'm supposed to be doing this because I do have joy in this, but I'm not excited about this. Why isn't it? Well, it's because the things that I should be doing, the writing, the directing, are put on hold because I'm making everybody and their mom's dreams come true for a paycheck. Like, well, that's crazy. Funny how those things coincide. And then that coming to that realization got me to start, well, if I'm thinking this way, other people can think this way. Why should I not do that? And why not take a chance on myself, ultimately improving the attitude? So it's just cool. It's cool hearing it like that from that perspective of like, yeah, this is what you do. And once you know when you're prepared, like that'll ultimately set you up for success. And like the caveat is like, yeah, you get a good attitude out of it. Why not do it? Right?
Yeah. I would recommend any parents out there, like I'm a parent, guys. I have 3 children. Maggie baby is 9, Joseph's 6, and Natalie's 4. And my babies, I tell them anything's possible. So always use that to your advantage. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. There are no limits to what you can do. And telling children this makes them believe in their abilities. And all of a sudden, all these time frames of society that's imposed upon people vanishes. Do you know Maggie, when she was 8 years old, this past year, Maggie went and bought yarn. She taught herself how to make scarves. She then builds scarves one evening, goes to the winery, and Maggie walked out with $600.
That's like my favorite story.
Right, in selling scarves, and she's 8. Right. She was, I'm buying candy. I go, love, oh my gosh, you don't know how much money you have right now. But I mean, and there it is where anything's possible. And here's Maggie overachieving to the point where she doesn't even realize how big an achievement she had. Why? Because she's told anything's possible. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Just set out and do it. And she did. And this is the trouble that we have growing up. A lot of times we have people in our lives that don't tell us that. And who you are is who you've accepted to be true about you. Someone said it, you believe it, and so you act upon it. We act based upon who we believe we are. Just like that. You're going to talk, walk, and act like the person you think you are. So if you believe you're someone different, you will act like a different person. So therefore, the world is our mirror everywhere we look. It's just reflecting ourselves back to ourselves, right? So this all roots from my mom. I think I've revealed it before, but when I was in 10th grade, because of my mom's influence, I was making $70,000 a year in 10th grade in high school. And the reason is because my mom told me, well, of course, why wouldn't you do this? Absolutely. Go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, work in the resort sales, be a straight commission person. You can do it. Just learn communication and how to sell things, and away you go. And just like that, I did. Why? Because she believed in me first. Sometimes sometimes you gotta, you borrow someone's belief.
I was going to say, you need that little, you believe in yourself, but
Right.
if you know someone else is believing in you,
Right.
there's like a weird sense of accountability, because it's like, then I don't want to let that person down.
Yep.
So even if I let myself down, I don't want to let that person down, and I'm going to continue to show up and do what I got to do every single day.
Yep. We call it giving them a good name to live up to. Mom gave me a good name to live up to. She says, I believe in you. What am I going to do? Be like, I couldn't do it, Mom. Of course not. You know what I mean? Right.
That's like a disappointing thing.
And then, but then there's times I remember I'd come back and I would have no sales, nothing. My mom would just shrug it off. She goes, "Oh, that's normal. You always pass through failure on the way to success. That's normal. That's okay." So it's basically, John Maxwell goes, "Count your lessons, not the failures." And there it is.
Yeah.
Great stuff. But I mean, an attitude, we have a choice, not just every day to choose our attitude, but every moment. Every moment we have the choice. Whenever something challenges come up against us, we should train our brain to go, this is good. Where's the opportunity here? Yeah. This is great. Because without problems, no one would have any job to do. Think about it. Everyone's at work because of a problem. And most people, they come in and they got a big pile of paperwork and they go, "Oh, I can't believe this. Look at all the work I got to do." They should go, "Oh my gosh, this is so good. Look at the need for me. Look, this is how needed I am, this stack of paperwork. Because if there was no stack, you're not needed and there's no job left."
Yeah.
That's the perspective that can give you a good attitude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where you go, "Wow, I'm so glad that I'm in such demand." Right? Attitude. It's our choice every moment, every day.
Very cool. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Ralph.